Alright, what's up Giants fan? Welcome back to the channel for yet another graffiti street art video. This video is going to be the letter B tutorial. My goal is to do the whole alphabet, A through Z. I already did the letter A. If you haven't seen that already, we're going to pop up a card right here. I try to make these tutorials as informative as possible across the whole range of graffiti, meaning I'm going to show you how to tag, throwy, bomb, and then ultimately piece. We're going to hop in BR for the piece. All the rest we'll do right here on paper. At the end of the video, we're gonna hop into Kingspray and we're gonna end it there. If you guys are liking our video, be sure to hit that like button, drop a comment below, and as always, subscribe. That means a lot to us here. Without further ado, we'll keep this intro nice and short because you might skip it anyway. Let's get to it. All right, so let's get started. For me personally, I really believe and love that letters and their natural form have this natural beauty to them. Let's take the letter B since we're doing that for this video. This is a tutorial, so I'm making this video more for beginners. One of my keys to success for making good graffiti letters is sticking to the natural form of the letter. Letters are naturally beautiful. They already have a natural flow, form, beautiful shape, all that. So let's tag it, for example. I would start with a regular like marker, and then I'll do a chisel tip because chisel tip adds a nice effect to your letter. And I'll do a few different ones for you just to show you how you could take the simple natural form of the original B and just with a little bit of style, a little bit of flair, you can make it like really cool styles. As you can see, it has this down stem right here. We could add a little flair to that, like a little hook that goes down, and we're gonna stick to the natural form. So I'm just gonna go up like this and up and around. As you can see, this isn't too crazy. It's not super complex where it's unreadable. This is actually pretty simple. We could even take it a step further where here I stuck to the natural form with the rounded edges, but now let's see what it looks like if we add a boxed look to it. We're gonna keep the flare of this top loop. We're gonna have this down stem right here. And this time let's add a little flare. Let's have it kick up to the side. And I said we're gonna box it. So let's have the bottom half kind of boxed out. And let's do something like that. We have two, in my opinion, very flavorful, very styled Bs, and they're actually pretty close to the natural form. Next, let's do a few more just to get the flow going. See here, I reversed the loop instead of curving up. We could get creative and curve it down, and we can see how that brings a different style, different flavor. So we could do something like that. Again, hooking down, got the down stem, and I boxed it up top and looped at the bottom. Let's do a few more. So we could box it completely, give it a whole different look. So here I looped it up, brought it down, flared it out, squared it up, squared it down, squared it back, looped it around, and it had the loop come back in, sort of like in a spiral motion. Whether it's a Sharpie or a drip or anything that has like a rounded nib, it'll come out looking like that. Let's see what it looks like if we bring out the chisel tip. So I'm gonna do these same letters. I'll mix it up here and there, but I wanna show you how this is gonna look when I use the chisel tip. Curve it back up, add a little dot right there. About 12 different Bs that we just did, all deriving from the original organic natural form of the letter B. With a little bit of flair and a little bit of flavor, you could take your basic letters and make these really cool graffiti letters. The chisel tip, it gives it a way different feel. I personally love the chisel tip markers more than just regular markers. And especially if you could bring this into with a dripper, you get some nice drips with the mop, that makes it look really cool. That's it for the tags. We started with the original B, 2 different markers. Now let's jump into Throwies. I'm really just going off the simple, already organic nature of the letter. My goal is to show you how simple it is to take the already organic shape of the letter and just make it look nice and easy. One is like simple, medium, and like complex for a Throwie. They're really meant to be quick things that you could do to get up, in and out. Let's start simple. I mean, that's really the simplest way to do a Throwie B. We could spruce that up. Let's add some, I call them like hooks, things that sort of extend a little out on the top and the bottom. So if we do that, let's see. So maybe something like that. Just these little extensions, it's already making it look a lot more stylish. I have the same vertical lines right here, indicating, you know, the holes of the B. And if you want to spruce that up, what you could do is you could make it look angry, you can make it look sad. For instance, let's do this next one. Let's see, let's do our down stem right here. I want to have this extension going up. And what I'm going to do for this next one is I'm going to box the top, sort of like how this tag is right here. I'm going to box the top and curve the bottom, keep that the same. So if I, in a Throwie fashion, round out the bottom, and again, if we add that angry eyebrow to the top, and if we add a curved line on the top and a curved line on the bottom, it makes it look a little bit more angry. It adds a little bit more style to it. Now let's do one more, and I want to show you, instead of the angry look, let's show you like a happy look. And we got our eyes right here. I wish I wouldn't have done this eye already, but let's make it look happy. What I'm gonna do is, let's make him happy by bringing this back. Or maybe not happy, but let's make it look just a little bit different. By reversing it, we can get a little bit more of it's a different style. We can make him look sad if we add an eyebrow kind of like that. It adds some characteristic, especially if we could add a halo right here. That starts to bring some style. I want to do one more where we make it look happy. So let's get our down stem. Let's get our top extension. And again, we're going to box the top. Taking inspiration from cartoons and anime, things we see in movies, we could influence our letters to make them look a certain way. Little happy eye like that. It looks like sort of like a happy person that just got done like eating, so their stomach is full. Even have a little tongue. If we want to take a step further real quick, let's add some dimensions. Again, real simple. Throwies are meant to be in and out real fast, so if you're spending too much time on it, I mean, that is already an indication that you're overthinking it. It wouldn't work in the eyes of other graffiti writers as a Throwie because spending way too much time on it. So with some simple dimensions, we can make this be a lot of different variations, all with the simple idea of just taking the natural, like I'm saying, organic letter, the letter B, starting off simple, getting a little bit more style in there, playing with it a little bit more, angry, we got a mouth, now we got an eyebrow on the eye, a halo, different styles for the mouth. Now we got a happy one with the mouth right here with the tongue out. So as you can see, in a very short amount of time, I'm able to show you about 5 different Bs, and again, all deriving from the simple organic form. A lot of times, beginners, they try like way too hard to make like the dopest looking bee, and they skip the foundational aspect where just get the basics down and build from there. That's gonna do it for the Throwies. Now let's move on to the bombs. All right, so let's start. I love the foundational stuff, but I've been doing this for years. So once I could get into like the bombs and pieces, that's where I really get excited. We're gonna keep the basic shape of the letter B. As you can see, we're building. We got our tags, our throwies, our bombs. What's gonna separate really your bombs from your throwies is they're not gonna have so much of the rounded edges. The bombs are gonna be more structured, a little more squared off. Keep that in mind. That's what really separates your bomb from your throwies. I would start with my down stem. So what I'm gonna do here is, as you could see, I'm not doing a vertical stem. I'm already starting to slant my down stem, so that starts to add some style. I want to keep my top extension because I want to show you the progression from tags to throwies to bombs. Might be swoop out. Here's where you can start having fun, you can get creative, and get inspired by other people's art. Do not bite. I repeat, do not bite. Like I'm saying, you could take certain things from people here and there, take it, and then do it in your own way. As I could see, this big line, it's gonna get kind of boring right here. What I like to do, switch it up a little bit, is add some flavor right here. So I'm gonna add a nice little, I call these graffiti bars. It's really like a bar that is stylistic to graffiti. We're gonna end the letter with our bottom extension right here. So I'm gonna take it a step further for you guys and add the dimensions. I really wanna bring this to life so you can start seeing how we progress from tags, throwies, to bombs. So let me take a moment to add some dimension. Usually I would start with my Sharpie just as I just did, but you could see like in certain areas right here, right here, right here, maybe it's just me because I'm very critical about my art. I could see these things that I really want to perfect, but my marker isn't fine enough to do so. And with a pen, I would go in and clean up all these little areas, make my points sharper, make my curves, on point, get these lines to match up exactly how I want them. I don't like how these finish like on rounded edges, so I would sharpen that up and get these points nice and sharp, your lines nice and clean. So I'm gonna go around now with my pen and I'm gonna clean up this B right here for you. I went around with my pen, I made these points a lot sharper. I was even able to add some line work in here to give my letter more shape, more structure, more flow. I was able to clean up this graph bar that I added just to make it nice and sharp. And that is like a neat trick that I do for myself. If you start to mess up or you start to ruin your drawing, find a way to work with it. Perfect example of that is when I added these lines here, I'm a left-hander, so I actually smudged the ink a little bit. And instead of, being like, I ruined it, what I did was I actually used that to my advantage so that I turned the smudge into a line that cut up my B in a nice stylistic way that's relevant to graffiti. And I added another cut just to really add to that. I mean, if I really wanted, I could even add another cut right here. Sure, I mean, sometimes there are, real genuine mistakes that ruin your piece. But if you can, I would say the challenge is to work with some of those mistakes and find a way to use that creatively to your letter. Let's do one more, and I'm gonna get this next one a little bit more, I'm gonna spruce it up a little bit more, but it's not gonna be a full-on pieced out letter B. I'm really gonna flare it out a bit, just like how this tag is. As you can see, I mean, I already like how we're progressing. I feel like if you could get to this level, that is a really good place to be at. Start off simple, guys. Don't try to, if you're just getting into graffiti, don't try to do this right away. I mean, more power to you. Like, I encourage creativity. I love you, you know, reaching for the stars type thing. But I guess what my main point is, a lot of times when writers are just starting out and if they reach for the stars, they try to do this right off the bat. And if they can't do it, they get discouraged. They feel like they're not good enough. Anyone could really gain the skill set to get to this point. It just takes time, practice, dedication. Don't give up. You know, if you're smudging, you're messing up, those type of things, just keep going, keep progressing, keep the growth going. What I do to prevent me smudging moving forward is I'll just lay down a piece of paper right here. And now my hand is resting on a clean piece of paper. Just going around now, making my points nice and sharp. Sometimes I do like ending it on like a nice rounded edge. With your outline, it doesn't always just have to be an outline. Sometimes you could add a dot here and there. The most complex B that we've done this whole video so far is still very much the basic structure of the letter B right here. These two letters are actually very similar. They're not too far away from each other, but yet look at how these little simple features make a huge difference and really make your graffiti look really cool. We're done with our tags, throwies, bombs, and now let's jump into VR, into Kingspray, and let's have some fun. Let me show you how a pieced out letter B will look with spray can. So let's jump into it. Alright Giants fam, so you made it to the end of the video. We started off with tags, then we went to throwies, then we went to bombs, and then we finished off in VR. I didn't want to talk and make it a tutorial for the piece. I wanted that to be more of like just an entertainment, just sit back, relax. So I just wanted to end off on a good, relaxing note. I wanted to really show you how we could just take the basic structure, the natural organic shape of the letter B, and how we could just derive, go off of there. And again, if you're new, if you're getting into graffiti just for the first time, take your steps. It takes time, it takes practice, like I was saying earlier. Have fun, look at the basic, simple structure, start off with the basics and build off from there. And with time, with dedication, with creativity, you could get to the level that I'm at and even past me. I want you to get past me. I hope you pass me up. If you're liking our videos, hit that like button, drop a comment below, and as always, subscribe. We got more videos coming out. I'm gonna do this type of tutorial for every letter of the alphabet. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for VR graffiti, real life graffiti, all that kind of fun stuff. And we appreciate your support. See you guys next week. Peace.